And I think that does bring us nicely onto the next point, which is if Werner did impress or not in the first game against Man United. I mean, I did see some good things in there. I also saw a few frustrating things in there from Werner, which I think is probably expected, like you said, Johnny, that he hasn't played 17 minutes of football all season or something like that, which is crazy. But I think he's got the attributes that can thrive in this system, definitely under Ange Postecoglou, using his pace. We just need to be able to find his finishing boots or his shooting boots on, because we saw at Chelsea he was clowned upon week in, week out for missing easy chances. Hasn't really been able to get a foothold in that Leipzig team when he did return. But HG, do you think he impressed against United?
I mean, impressed. I mean, I don't think he played extremely well. I wasn't massively impressed by what he did, but he didn't look out of place. So it's all about what your expectations is. Like, to me, Timo Werner is what Danjuma was last season. He's a loan signing that is going to cover a few roles and play whatever minutes he gets. Like, obviously, when Son's back, Werner's on the bench. That's it, right? We know that. Yeah. And if Solomon's back, then who's on the bench? Is it going to be Solomon? Is it going to be Werner? Like, those are questions. So, like, Timo Werner, obviously, we're going to need him for this, for the next game, for the Brentford game, for whatever game we have until Son gets back. But when Son and Solomon are back, he may not even make the 20. Like, I'm not expecting Timo Werner to sign permanently. Right now, I think he's a great loan move because he covers a couple of positions and he gives you some experience. And we all know what he can do. He's done it against Spurs. So we know it's possible, but I don't expect him to be a kind of a world-class replacement. I just think he's going to be there. He's going to offer pace. Clearly, Ange trusts him more than Bryan Gil. So it's bad news for Bryan because he really should be getting these minutes. But that's what he is. He's a loan signing that is there to help the club get over this path where we're without players.
But with what he has shown previously in his career before he joined Chelsea, scoring 28 goals in a Bundesliga season, 2 years before that, scoring over 20 goals in a Bundesliga season, do you not think that this could be a really astute signing by Tottenham? And if he does, show anywhere, even like 50% of what he showed in the Bundesliga first time round, we will go on and sign him.
At the price that the loan is, what is it, 17 million euros?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much, is it? 15 million quid probably. For someone with his experience, bearing in mind that we're paying 25 for projects or 50 for projects, then 17 million euros is next to nothing, and it's probably a worthwhile signing. But, like, again, which role in the squad is he taking at this point? Would he be above Solomon? Would he be behind Solomon? Like, is he just getting Bryan Gil's minutes? Like Perisic? Do you know what I mean? I don't really know. Like, it's a lovely place to be where you can sign an experienced player and have him be player 22, 23 in your squad. Because that's, to me, what he would be. I mean, I'm excited that it could be more because those Leipzig teams, when he was there, were very good. But at that point, it was a front two. And his pace would take him in, and a lot of his finishes were kind of instinctive or first-time ones, which could suit Ange Ball if the cross comes in from the other side. But it's kind of similar to what Johnny said earlier. Like, if I give him a situation where he's clean through and he has to think about it, then I get nervous. Like the chance he had against Man United, I'm sitting here thinking, go on your right foot. Because he's not left-footed. I didn't expect him to find the bottom corner with his left foot. So play to your strengths. Like Rashford does it the other end. We all know that he's more right-footed than left. So try to make the effort, try to make the space and get the shot away. Those are the things that concern me a little bit. He's got decent pedigree, but right now he's still that Danjuma signing. I don't really think he's going to... Well, right now I don't think he's more than that.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, like, in terms of the minutes that he's going to get, I see him ahead of Bryan Gil. I see him ahead of Manuel Solomon even. I see him as, level, maybe not level, but, behind Heung-min Son on the left-hand side, where if Heung-min Son goes into the strike force, he'll go ahead of Richarlison even on the left-hand side, in my opinion. So I like Werner, and I think he can bring a lot to this football team, but I think I'm just uber positive at the moment because of the way Spurs are going and Ange Postecoglou's going, and maybe because of my circumstances in life anyway. But Johnny, go on, what were you about to say?
I know, I was just saying, look, I think it's a fantastic deal. I think it's such an astute signing. We've swapped Eric Dyer, Harry Kane's golf caddy, for Werner. You know, it covers the cost, the 4 million. This is a German international, right? Okay, yes, he's lost his way. The guy's 27. The way everyone's talking, you think he was 31 years of age. I spoke to a lot of Chelsea fans over the weekend, and I was expecting, oh, you've signed a dud, he was useless. Absolutely not. It was the complete opposite. I was shocked. We loved Werner. Yeah, no, he didn't score a lot of goals in the Premier League, but what he did, his pace created space for others to score goals. He brought everything to the team. He was really liked to the club. The fans really liked him. Yes, he didn't finish his dinner. But Nagelsmann, the football he played under Nagelsmann is as near as to what Ange is going to do, the progressive football and the pace. And you look at the amount of space Spurs create, I think he's going to be an astute signing. And quite honestly, 17 million. What can you sign? A German international with that money for 17 million euros? If it goes wrong, you've lost nothing, right? It's true. The 50 million pound signings where they go wrong, you've got an issue with. And the other thing I really want to pull up here is that too many fans are focused on he's never going to make the first 11. Why would you sign him? This isn't an 11 game anymore. It is a squad game, right? It is your depth of squad. So many times we've had, we got a good 11, but we don't have, as soon as we got an injury, we're in trouble. And, if you want to be in Europe and if you want to compete at European level or cup level and in the league, you need strength in depth. And, I think he adds fantastic strength and depth. And I think if he shows any, morsel of the form that he showed in Germany, that we should do everything we can to sign him. Because right now, when you look at the available strikers and attackers in Europe at the moment, most clubs are desperately searching. Man United, Chelsea, or Arsenal, all desperately searching for a striker. We should keep him because we probably will need him because unless you're going to come out with big money for Ivan Toney, we're probably the only ones right now who can afford him without breaking our FFP. But no, I'm all for him. And I think, let's judge him after he's had a few sessions, because I'm not going to judge a guy who's had 17 minutes. But
how do you assess his debut, Johnny, in terms of what you saw for those 65 minutes or so?
Look, the assist was okay. The snatch shot was Chelsea all over again. It was, we could say all these things, right? Without any doubt. But I can't. He would not have started that game had we had fit players. Let's be honest. He would have come off the bench, just like Dragusin. He would have got minutes. He probably got 10, 15 minutes. Said himself, he's had 2 sessions. And Ange was, pointed that out. Don't expect too much. Let's wait and see. And he seemed very happy about the signing. And so am I.
And so am I.
Yeah, I think under the circumstances, it was a decent debut. I think I've seen players in Werner's position come in with very little training sessions, very little minutes, and be anonymous and just not be involved in the game and let the game pass them by. And I don't think Werner did that. He was getting on the ball. He was trying to make things happen. I didn't see too much of him driving at players, but he was definitely attacking the space well. And obviously, I thought the assist, look, you can say it's a simple assist, but what he had to do was he had to cut inside Diego Dallo. He had to wait for the right moment to play it to Bentancur when he was running into the space. He had to use his patience after it was a pretty poor pass from Ollie Skip. He had to make the most out of that. And I think that's going to be his role when it comes to this season. It was very interesting to hear him speak. I don't know if you saw the interview he gave after the game. And when you look back at what Chelsea thought they were signing, they expected to be signing a goal scorer, right? He's off the back of scoring, nearly 100 goals in, 200 games or something for Leipzig. And they thought they were signing a player who's going to be a massive goal threat. He's going to be a goal scorer. And that was what he was going to bring to Chelsea. But Werner said in his interview after the game that my role at Tottenham is going to be creating space for other players, going to be getting assists. And he said, now I'm 27. when I was a younger player, he said, I used to judge myself really harshly on how many goals I scored and getting those goals and assists up and all those things. He said, now I'm 27, I really understand the value I can bring tactically, not just with goals and assists, but other elements of my game and creating space for other players and using my space, or using my pace for the benefit of the team, not just the benefit of myself. And that was really interesting to hear, because looking at Werner and his goal scoring record, which is actually pretty good over his career, you would have thought he's going to come here and think, and his aim would be, I want to get my goal scoring touch back, right? That would have been what you thought he would been coming here to do. And yet that's not what he's saying. He's saying, Ange has brought me here to use my pace for the benefit of the team and to maybe get more assists for my teammates, to maybe open up the space more for the team. And yes, part of my job is still to get goals, and I will be trying to do that, but that's not going to be my main job. And I did think that was really interesting to hear. And to be honest, I think that's what we saw at Old Trafford. I think that is how he was using his pace. And I did a video about him before we signed him, and in the video I was looking at some of the underlying metrics of what he's been good at consistently throughout his career. Because if you look at his shooting metrics, all that kind of stuff, that has fluctuated throughout his career. Some seasons it's been really good, some seasons it's been not so good. And his shooting's been off. But one of the things that he's been very much consistent on throughout his career is pretty much stayed the same level, at a really good level, is how he is when he gets the ball at pace, carrying the ball, taking players on, receiving the ball in the attacking third and in really attacking positions. These are things that he's consistently has been very good on. And I think those are things that we saw at Old Trafford he was good at. He did pick up the ball in really good areas consistently. When he did get the ball, he was driving with the ball consistently into dangerous areas, and obviously he did end up getting an assist. So I think it was a promising debut. I've definitely seen worse debuts. I wouldn't say it was anything incredible or anything mind-blowing, but considering he's had 2 training sessions, he hasn't played a lot of football, I think it was a promising debut. That's what I would say. Yeah.
And I'm very hopeful for what he can show. And I think that when you're looking at the game against Man City next week, when they play a very high line, we're going to be missing Sonny. We're going to have to utilise that pace of Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner in behind. And it could be a really good tool to our armoury.